Baby does not stop you from living your life. You like to travel, take your kid. You like to do this, take your kid. Like, you put your kid onto what you like.
Okay, then why ain't he here right now?
I would never bring my son here.
Oftentimes, people will say things to put on a show to make themselves look better, but then actually judging by their actions as opposed to the things that they say is a little bit more closer to understanding the integrity of said person. And of course, the lady still bucked up.
Why can you wear a wig, but a guy can't do something that makes his body?
Great question, Kendra.
I met a guy. He was really a nice guy. Opened doors, was such a gentleman. The spray in his hair and in his beard. It was a turnoff.
You know what you're saying right now is exactly how men feel about women with makeup and wigs.
Exactly. Modern women are just simply not self-aware. They've not been trained to look at themselves. They've been trained to look at and judge others, and then also shame others into whatever their perception of perfection actually is. This is how you get so many.
If you're going to invite a woman into your life, you should be very careful and selective about who you let into your inner circle, especially if it's on a long-term basis. If you let the right woman in, she can really improve your life, add value, and be a complement to it. If you bring the wrong woman in, she can make your entire life a total train wreck. Women don't care about your problems. They hang out at the finish line and pick winners. In this video, we'll discuss female promiscuity and why it's something you should be aware of as a man. Dissatisfaction reported in the relationship for both men and women goes up dramatically as her notch count goes up. Interestingly, those figures don't correlate to men. The most significant difference between men and women is that men are born with nothing. We must create value. We must learn competency skills. And men are generally viewed as success objects by the world and by women. On the other hand, women's value stems from her maintaining her beauty and notch count, whereas men's value stems from developing competency skills. As a result, people will be upset. Why does it have to be different for everyone? Why can't it be the same? According to a study conducted by the Institute of Family Studies, the reporting of one lifetime intercourse partner has decreased dramatically over the years. So in the 1920s, men had a nearly 80% chance of marrying a V-card. Today, the figure is around 45%. Relying on the honesty of those revealing the information, I suspect that these figures are significantly different. But for the time being, let's assume that they are true. We know for a fact that men are having difficulty getting good results with women in the mating game. However, from a 20,000-foot perspective, this has changed over time, and we've seen this change as a result of society embracing more liberalized terms and lifestyles. We've basically been telling women to act more like men since the 1960s or 1970s. To work more, postpone childbearing years, get degrees. You see a general masculinization of the feminine in society, and that's just a trend that we're heading. How does this affect the ability to pair bond for an extended period of time, and why am I warning guys about it? So once again, this is reported data. A woman who has only had one partner reports higher marital satisfaction than one who has had several partners. In fact, regardless of notch count, men generally report a higher level of marital satisfaction. Satisfaction should be high, but as the number of partners increases, it actually decreases, and women are far behind men in this regard, so it appears to have a greater impact on women. Another study I saw somewhere else found a direct relationship between the age at which she lost her V-card and the number of erotic partners. Who knows what her notch count is if she had her first physical relationship at a very young age, say 14, and was in no long-term stable relationships. A woman whose notch count is 30 or 50 is worth less to a guy than a woman who has kept her chastity. So the next topic I'd like to discuss with you is the increased reporting of personality disorders as it relates to notch count. As female promiscuity rises, so do reports of personality disorders and depression. There has been a significant increase in substance abuse. We discovered that the mean number of erotic partners among positive participants was nearly double that of negative participants when we used the BPE Personality Scale Diagnostics Questionnaire to determine borderline personality disorder status. As a result, there is a direct link between personality disorders and promiscuity. As it relates to substance abuse, there was a strong correlation between substance abuse and interpersonal anxiety, stemming from possibly failed intimate partnerships, which of course leads to abuse, particularly in women. So there is no direct correlation with men. All of these studies can be found by using Google. I believe that you should spend at least a year or two with a woman before deciding whether you want to invite her into your life on a long-term basis, if you want to have children with her, and I am not a big fan of marriage. I've discussed this before, but if she's promiscuous, your chances of divorce and ending up in an unhealthy relationship with a woman with a personality disorder increase dramatically. These are facts. These are not made-up stories. Someone who has long-term substance abuse issues or a personality disorder that is difficult to deal with on a long-term basis. Another issue is that when women have a history of promiscuity, they are more likely to be unable to stay faithful for an extended period of time. It is much simpler for them to leave and move on to the next relationship. As a matter of fact, you must be extremely selective about who you allow into your inner circle. Don't forget to hit the like button to help spread the word about this video. Thank you for taking your daily dose of red pills, and remember that a red pill a day keeps bad poker hands away. So have a good rest of your day and cheers.